Welcome back. You're still watching Citizen Extra, the Monday edition with me, Fred Indimule. On this day, the presidential candidates are returning their nomination papers to the IEBC at the KICC. Elsewhere, senators and members of the county assembly, or rather aspirants for those particular positions, are also presenting their nomination papers to IEBC at various centers across the country. You can see live pictures there on your screens from the KICC, where we do understand that Joseph William Vega Nyaga, an independent candidate, will be next up in presenting his papers to the IEBC. Of course, Nyaga was one of the candidates who was there yesterday, but he was sent back by the commission because of some few hitches with his papers. One of them was that he's required to present a check of 200,000 shillings. He went there with a check of 250,000 shillings. You know, there was also an issue with some papers to do with his running mate. They too say that those have since been rectified, and they'll be presenting those papers to the IEBC in a short while. We'll be linking up with Sam Gituku there. Elsewhere, we still do expect President Uhuru Kenyatta to make his way to the pipeline stage in Embakasi, where he will begin his tour of Nairobi City. That's where he'll begin that tour of Nairobi City, making quite a number of stopovers along Outer Ring Road to the junction of Jogoo Road and Outer Ring Road. That's previously known as the Donholm Roundabout. Then along Jogoo Road, making stopovers at various spots as he heads to the IEBC station at the KICC to present his nomination papers a little later this afternoon. We'll be linking up with our reporters there, Hassan Mugambi and Stephen Leto, who are at Pipeline Stage and Jogoo Road respectively, for updates once the president shows up. On your screen now, we can see that Joseph William Vega Nyaga is getting ready to proceed to the inside room where the IEBC is waiting for him to present his nomination papers, or rather the corrected pieces of papers that he is required to do. We'll be linking up with Sam Gituku once he is ready with an update from there. Meanwhile, in studio, we still have Dr. Sam Kamau, Joe Mdivo, and Kavore Kariuki, political analysts. As we continue with this, it should also be noted that the campaign period, the official campaign period, in at least as far as the presidential race is concerned, is already underway, beginning yesterday, May the 28th. I do understand that for the other seats, it will come later this week once they present their nomination papers. And because we do understand that submission of presidential candidates list was 28th and 29th, that's yesterday and today. 1st of June and 2nd of June, submission of governor and MP candidate list, and that's where Bwana Kavore Kariuki will be coming in. But Bwana Kariuki, you've been campaigning for the last 1 year. How different is that period and this official campaign period that you're about to embark on?
Fred, I think that's very inaccurate. I've not been campaigning for the last 1 year. Officially, our campaigns will begin on the 1st of June when we present our papers to the IEBC as members of parliament, aspirants for member of parliament. However, officially, the campaign period as per the IEBC began yesterday, the 28th.
But what I mean, and some Kamau, please help me out in this, is that the country has basically been on campaign mode for actually more than a year now. Yes. So how different is this official campaign period now that we've just been on campaign mode?
I think we've not even been in campaign mode for the last 1 year. This country, we are perpetually in campaign mode. As soon as the elections are completed on August 8th, I think
start the next cycle.
But you know, there is something known as official campaign period, and in different countries it's well defined in law. And I think in the Kenyan situation, it started yesterday. There will be about 10 weeks of campaigning between now and the 5th of August, where all candidates will be expected to wrap up their campaigns. And I think what's different now is that candidates are free, of course, to declare and release their manifestos and put certain structures in place to move voters with the different promises and the things that they intend to do. On the other hand, of course, now that they are validly nominated, they come under the code of conduct that is expected to govern the campaign process, and the violation of that, of course, would have ramifications. It's also a time, of course, they will be making preparations in terms of logistics and how to run the whole process. Now we expect, of course, at this particular time now, we'll be able to interrogate exactly what these candidates are doing, because if you have watched and listened keenly, they are very scant with details on the specifics of what they want to do. Basically, they are promises and without clear pathways in terms of how these can be achieved. So when we talk about the cost of living, bringing it down, we now want to interrogate that and see how that would work, because like we have seen in the last couple of weeks, it's not that easy by just saying that we have brought the cost down. So we will be able to interrogate these manifestos, the policy considerations, because like I've said, these are promises without specific policy considerations and how these will be implemented. Now, so in terms of that, we expect to see more of that now.
Sam Kamau has mentioned that there are regulations that govern this official campaign period. Joy, I don't know if you're aware of them, and if so, which are the highlights? Which are some of the highlights, some of the things to look out for during this campaign period that probably could make a difference between now and what has been happening?
During this campaign period, you are going to expect a lot more scrutiny of the candidates, their message, their manifestos. That's what we're expecting them to bring out. This is also the time when the IEBC will be looking very keenly, using the code of conduct as the marking scheme, that the candidates are adhering to it. So, for example, incidences of violence, or voter buying, or other activities that may be considered electoral offences, because this is a period within which, if you commit some electoral offences, they could even affect whether or not you'll actually be on the ballot on the voting day. Okay, you might be on the ballot paper, but you may be disqualified as a candidate from further participating in the process. And during this campaign period as well is when you expect that those who are serious, quote-unquote, candidates now get a platform. We talked earlier about Abdu Badida and other political aspirants who now will get the opportunity to engage with Kenyans in a more structured fashion. So during this period is when we are supposed to actually have a direct engagement with the candidates. But as Sam has pointed out, our candidates have been engaging since the last election, and therefore then there might not be such a stark difference from what we've had before with what we are going to have during this now official campaign period.
Yes, issues like campaigns will run from this particular time of day and close at this particular time of day. If you go beyond that, you're flouting the law. That's what I'm looking at, because some of these things Kenyans do not know, that yes, there's an official campaign period. It's supposed to start at this time. This is exactly what the candidates should do. This is what the supporters should do, that probably after a certain time you're not supposed to be walking around with campaign material. That is exactly what I'm looking for. Kavore Kariuki, are you aware of some of these rules that govern this official campaign period?
Yes, Fred. As a matter of fact, you are required to go out and meet your supporters, campaign for the presidential candidate across the country, and try to woo your voters. However, the IBC is very particular, or let's put it this way, the law stipulates that the campaigning should not go beyond 7 p.m. However, if we were to call a spade, that has never been adhered to in this country, because you find that as soon as the darkness strikes, that is actually when people rev up the engines, and everybody gets out there to every little drinking spot, and you know, the wine or whatever it is flows. But I think the IBC this time round should try to ensure that all aspirants adhere to the rules of the game, because those are the rules of engagement, and you cannot have some adhering to them and others not.
But just like in the issue of the question of integrity, can you, and this is to all of you, can you remember a case in point where someone was barred because he flouted campaign regulations during the official campaign period, that someone was actually barred or disqualified from the race because of that?
No, I do not recall a time as such. As a matter of fact, on social media there is a lot of hype going on at the moment with regard to the likes of Maina Jenga receiving, you know, their nomination papers are now going to present to the IBC. There are very, very many people out there who have actually gone against the rules of the campaign period, and yet they have never been banned historically.
We'll come back and continue this discussion. I want us now to link up with Stephen Leto. This is our reporter who's also following the proceedings as those people leaving and working around or along Jogoo Road await for the arrival of President Uhuru Kenyatta, who will use that particular route as he makes his way to the KICC to present his nomination papers later this afternoon. Leto, if you can hear me, what exactly is happening where you are? Where are you exactly and what is happening there?
Well, good morning to you, Freddie, there, and your panel in studio. We are right at Jogoo Road, where the president's entourage or the Jubilee Party team is expected to have a sneak through this place. Remember that this is the road that also the opponents yesterday used, and right now they are, of course, planning to kick off their rallies from pipeline, that is areas of Eastlands, and they will be passing here. And as you can see, there is a normal flow of business in this busy Jogoo Road. But as we've done a spot check, we've seen several security agencies officers lined up across the road. We've seen heightened security. Even at the roundabout, there is a heavy deployment of traffic police officers. That is why you can see the vehicles moving fast, probably to clear the backlog of the traffic jam or the traffic snarl-ups behind there, so that to clear the way for President Uhuru Kenyatta as he takes his papers to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. And so there is normal business going on here, but it is not as similar to what we are seeing on that particular side. For instance, Freddie, in this bridge that is Shauri Moyo Bridge, just along Jogoo Road, you can see a lot of people already, crowds already building up right on top of that bridge, because the president's entourage will be passing here, and so they will be waving to the president. And this is one of the stopovers that we expect President Uhuru Kenyatta, his deputy William Ruto, and the entire Red Beret team, that is the Jubilee Party team, sneak through, going all the way to the Kenyatta International Convention Center. But Freddie, when you go past this bridge, you will get a roundabout that connects Jogoo Road, Lusaka Road, as well as Landis Road. As soon as President Uhuru Kenyatta touches or gets to Jogoo Road, the Lusaka Road will be shut. There will be no flow of vehicles at the Lusaka Road as well as this Jogoo Road, both sides. And what will happen, the president's entourage will take the right turn and he will then head to Mudhurwa, that is a business hub in Nairobi, where thousands of their supporters will be gathered, because that is one of the stopovers that the president is intending to make a quick address before now heading to Kencom again, another bus stop, before again addressing his supporters before now heading into the KICC, where the IEBC officials led by the chairman are at hand to receive him. But the supporters will be accompanying the president right from pipeline areas of Eastlands all the way to Makadara, where he's also supposed to make some stopovers and make an address. They will all be accompanying him on the roadside and behind him, and they will all be heading to the KICC for that major rally in the afternoon at the Comesa grounds. That's telling you how chaotic, how really the traffic flow and how confusion will rock the city today as the Jubilee Party tries to, flex its muscles, sneak into the central business district of Nairobi and address their supporters at the KICC after submitting their certificates for clearance. Then now, remember, now they are heading there as aspirants, heading to be cleared by the IEBC before now then becoming candidates for the seat of presidency. And so we are keeping an eye, trying to keep a spot check on what is happening when he will be leaving pipeline areas, what time he will get to Makadara and what time he will get here. It is still not clear, Freddie, the time he will get here, because we are told it is not yet clear what time he will kick off his street tour in pipeline. But here we will keep an eye on what will be happening. He will be accompanied, of course, by a lot of aspirants, several aspirants, particularly here the aspirants for Nairobi, starting with governor, the senatorial candidates, woman representative candidates, and members of parliament. Remember, the Jubilee Party enjoys a majority seat in the National Assembly for the Jubilee, and so that is what they are calling is they are having a tyranny of Nairobi. Out of the 1.8 million registered voters in Nairobi, there is up for grabs the both teams, that is the NASA team and the Jubilee team, are all keen to having a control of at least 1 million each, and that is why before submitting papers or after submitting papers, each side of the coalitions are trying to have meet the people tour here in Nairobi, just to keep their supporters at check and also, to bring them up to speed on their next move, on how they are going to approach this campaign. And also, most importantly, Freddie, after their submission, all the teams, all aspirants will be required to present their campaign schedules on where they will be presenting it. They are supposed to present it to the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, so that the IEBC then will ensure that they do not clash the rallies of all the aspirants, including from MCA all the way to president, so that their rallies do not clash. For this case now, the Jubilee Party must present their campaign schedules, as well as the National Super Alliance will be presenting their schedules, so that they will not be slotting themselves where their opponents have already slotted themselves. And so we are keeping an eye on the president's tour of the Eastlands area before getting into the CBD, and of course we are expecting by midday or 1 o'clock there or so, he will be here at the Jogoo Road heading all the way to the CBD. And as you can see there, we told you earlier, is that already crowds are building up at several stopovers that have been designated where the president is supposed to make an address. So those are live pictures we are giving you from Jogoo Road, that is heading all the way. He will be making a turn to Landis Road all the way to Mudhurwa, where he will be making an address, and then make another final stopover at the Kencom bus stop, and then now that will be the end of the stopovers. Now we'll get into the KICC, present his papers, head to Commerce grounds for the rally. Freddie.
Thank you, Leto. Stephen Leto there along Jogoo Road, actually stationed right now at Shauri Moyo, where we can see crowds already trying to get vantage position ahead of the arrival of President Uhuru Kenyatta, whose entourage will be snaking through that part of the city as it heads towards the IEBC's current station as the KICC, where the commissioners are ready and receiving nomination papers from presidential candidates. Of course, the president will begin his tour of the city from Pipeline Stage in Embakasi, move on to the Jogoo Road Outer Ring Junction, move on to Madaraka along Jogoo Road, then to City Stadium, Mudhurwa, that's the country bus, Wakulima Market, Railway Roundabout, Kencom, City Hall, and later present his papers at the KICC. These are just some of the stopovers that the president is expected to make before he presents his papers at the IEBC. Let's now move back to the KICC, where you can see live pictures there. Joseph William Ndega Nyaga walking towards the IEBC commissioner's desk, ready to present his papers. Let's head back there and listen to Sam as he gives us an update. Sam?
Yes, Fred. This is supposed to be a very short session. Has the commissioners, because his is just a small matter that has to do with ensuring that he has deposited the right amount of money that will be going through. He doesn't have to go through the entire process of application of his document, and it's just a continuation of what had been started yesterday. So we expect him to spend just a few moments with the commissioners, and after that they will line up. Professor Michael Wanaina, who is still in the holding room. After Michael Wanaina, there will be Hwajirongo, and then there's another candidate who's just arrived a few moments ago, Erastus Nyamera. But for now, it is the moment for Joe Nyaga. Apparently, he has to go through another process, but essentially this is to indicate his attendance, because what he indicated yesterday was for yesterday. So today he has also to indicate that have him signing his name and his remarks in as far as his attendance here goes. Of course, when we spoke to him earlier, he was in a cheeky way saying that he had decided to be generous. He had made a simple mistake by depositing the 250,000 shillings, but he says that he apologizes to the Kenyans for that mistake. He says that he got the figure from the note he took instead of reading the law and going through the regulations as they were, that a candidate must deposit 200,000 Kenya shillings as their nomination fee if and when they are above the age of 50 or rather 35 years of age. And so there, the running mate as well, indicating his details, marking his arrival, that is Moses Muranga. Of course, they're being briefed now by the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of IEBC by the name Betty on what to expect, and essentially just what we said, that their work had already been done, much of it, so now they've just been handed the document wallet that carries every detail of what they had presented as the prerequisite papers for nominating candidates, and there he goes to meet the returning officer the second time. Joseph Nyaga, he happy to be getting this chance, and the hope is he hopes that he will be cleared by the team of IEBC commissioners. For now, they take their seats and listen to what the chair has to say, being the continuation it is. But as I said, it's a simple matter, verifying that he has deposited the right amount of money, and also that the running mate has the code of conduct properly set and put in the right order of commissioning by a commissioner of oaths. And there is the returning officer of Wafula Chebukati going through the documentation alongside the vice chair Nkata Maina. This is to be
okay. So the physical location of the offices. Okay. And now we have your check properly done for 20,000. Okay, so we shall proceed to give you a receipt. I think you can use the other 50,000 for your campaign. Sure. So you give us some time to process the receipt. That's good.
Then they'll have no recourse but to issue the nomination certificate signed by the returning officer of Wafula Chebukati. Right, so the commissioners are waiting to receive the official receipt showing the evidence that the money has been received. The other commissioners are also looking at the documents that have been tabled afresh to satisfy themselves that everything is in order. And as I said, it is going to be a very simple process. There has been stamping of the crucial documents that have been presented, marking them that they are in the right order. And so now it is to wait. In a moment there will be a pronouncement from the IEBC chair on whether he confirms Joseph Nyaga to be a presidential candidate, Moses Muranga to be his running mate or not, and if not, why, and if yes, then just to wish him the very best for the general election in the next 2 or so days. And Fred, I must say that Joseph Nyaga today looks a bit relaxed, having known that he meets most of the requirements. It's just a matter of complying with the amount and the code of conduct. And so he has waiting to hear from the commissioners of what decision they have reached. Of course, it has been a long wait for the other presidential aspirants, Professor Michael Wanaina and Haji Rongo, who have been here for that's how it is. They have to be patient to wait to be heard. This is back to back. So in a very short moment, as I said, we hear from of what decision they have made. And there is Joe Nyaga exchanging pleasantries with one of the commissioners, Rosalind Komboka. He is telling her that he has seen her previously observing elections in past elections at different places. And I must say, Fred, this is a very, would I say, talkative person. He has a story for every person. And this is what is happening here. So he's having a good moment. He told us yesterday that as he approaches the age of 70, then what he has not achieved is to run for presidency to lead this country. And he even said that his choice of running mate in the name of Moses Muranga was informed by the fact that he was rather lightly called it a foolishly innocent combination of the two. And there is IBC chair. I think he is issuing Joe Nyaga with a sample ballot paper so that Joe Nyaga can look at the image on the ballot paper, on whether he agrees with it. Being an independent candidate, he has to look at that, and if he is satisfied, then he has to sign against that image. And so what this means is that Joseph Nyaga becomes the fourth presidential candidate for the August general election. There he has signed against the image, and he has shown it to his supporters, who say they are okay. So far, that sample ballot paper has 4 images. That is that of a Kurokot of the Third Way Alliance. Then there is Abdu Badida of the Alliance for Real Change.
Yeah, 200. So, ladies and gentlemen,
let's listen into what Chebukati has to say.
I, Wanyonyi Wafula Chebukati, Chairman of IBC, and also National Returning Officer for Presidential Elections, I hereby confirm and certify that Joseph Dika Nyaga, presidential aspirant, and Moses Wasua Marango, running mate, have qualified to the position of president and deputy president as running mates for the presidential election to be held on 8th of August this year. I want to congratulate you for coming up to stand. It's a sign of democracy in this country, and especially as an independent. We sent you back yesterday to have your running mate sign a code of conduct. Now the significance is that it's important to follow what's in the code of conduct. As a commission, we shall be monitoring with other agencies, and we also have our own code of conduct enforcement committee. So we expect you to maintain peace in your campaigns, and that there are consequences to breaching the code of conduct. So as you go out there, campaign peacefully. You are free to campaign anywhere in Kenya. And once again, I wish you the very best. Campaign started yesterday until the 5th of August midnight. So that's the period of campaigns. And so best of luck, and campaign peacefully. I want to give you, I'll just remind you that you should give us your campaign schedule. so that we can harmonize with the other candidates. This juncture, I want to present a certificate to you, which allows...
Exit your candidates.
I would perhaps give you a moment to say a word, a minute. Yes. Yes, you talk to Kenyans watching you.
I'm delighted.
On behalf of
my running mate Moses Marango and myself and the many millions of supporters out there who will be voting for me. I'm delighted that finally we have a certificate from the IEBC which allows us to proceed with the campaign. As one who participated for 9 months at Bomas of Kenya, where we fought very hard for a category called independent institute, to give Kenyans a chance to participate freely without restrictions of party structure. I am a very happy man, and I wish to confirm that Moses Marang, 40 years old, not yet, and I will
ensure that peaceful campaign during the course of the next few days as we campaign in this country. In my particular case, as you know, I've been at this game for a very long time. In fact, by the time I retired the other day, I was the most experienced civil servant in the Republic of Kenya in terms of working. So we know what is required. The public sector does a wonderful job, and I have great respect for the civil servant, public servants who work a lot, have produced many documents. All we need to do is to extract those documents, and I know where they are kept, which previously have been ignored by previous administration, so that we can implement them. It's as simple as that. Then improve on the things as they have been done in the past. Thank you very much. God bless you. Certificate hiyo ndio certificate ambayo tumepatiwa saa hii, na hii tumeambiwa kwamba we must behave. Hawataki kusikia tunapigana na watu, tukiana mikutano yetu itakuwa peaceful, na sisi tunataka kuambia kwamba sisi tuna historia ya kuwa peaceful people. Na ndio sababu nimechagua kijana 40 years old kutoka Bungoma County awe running mate wangu. Amekuwa student leader, amefanya kazi, amesomea Kenya, akamaliza masomo ya Kenya, akaenda Amerika akamaliza ya huko, na sasa tutakuwa na yeye for the next few days and into the future. Because old people like myself owe it to the next generation to give them a chance to be tutored by the best. He has got the best mwalimu. Thank you very much, Wakenya.
So you are now free to go and campaign.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So there you go, Fred, the fourth presidential candidate, an independent candidate in the name of Joseph Nyaga, with the running mate Moses Marango, an elected aspirant here, now candidate rather. He expresses his confidence that he is in it to win as he goes ahead to campaign in the general election. And congratulations.
I told yesterday, I think in the excitement of being ready, we made the small mistake that we made yesterday, and I'm lucky and I thank God it was on a Sunday and there was an extra day today to do the corrections. I've now presented my papers, and both my running mate Moses Marango and myself are now formally cleared. We've also been told to keep peace, because you know we went through 2007-2008 crisis. I promised the Kenyans that I will run a peaceful campaign. I appeal to all candidates who will be participating in the forthcoming elections to run peaceful elections. Very often it is not the leaders who cause problems, it is our supporters. I also want to a special word to our supporters. Please, let's run a peaceful campaign so that the world will know Kenya is a civilized country. Kenya knows what democracy is all about. After all, we are one of the few countries in the third world who have independent candidates such as myself. So, I promise you a peaceful campaign. I will criticize where necessary my colleagues. I will support my colleagues where necessary. And because I've been there, I've been in government. My late father was in government. I have the advantage of knowing much more than most people, which is a very big advantage. So I know where the documents that need to be implemented are hidden. I know where they are lying in the shelves. All I have to do is to simply pull them out. And with the public sector that we have, work with them and the cabinet that we'll put together. As I've said before, the advantage of being a president who is independent, every community of Kenya will be represented by government, irrespective of the party and the corner of Kenya they come from.
So what is your first rally, campaign rally?
We are now going, we've just given in our first, the report of our scheduled meetings, campaigns, and we hope to start a little later this week after a few administrative things that obviously after this we need to do. And you'll see us out there. We'll be all over the place. We know Kenya. There's no corner of Kenya I don't know. In my particular case, I have a rather unfair disadvantage in that, having been Minister for Cooperatives, there's no corner of Kenya that I don't know. And our friends who are cooperatives all over the country who are actually volunteering for free to help their former minister, because we worked very closely with them, and they are very happy that their then minister is about to become their president. Thank you very much. God bless you.
All right, thank you so much.
I mean, there are areas, because President Uhuru Kenyatta, Prime Minister Raila are my friends. We've worked together. We have many areas of agreement, but we have also areas of disagreement. That's what I mean. I will, where they say the right things, I do the right things, I will support, because I'm a Kenyan, I'm a nationalist. You don't criticize for the sake of it. I'm a mature politician, I'm a mature public servant. It would be unfair of me, therefore, to criticize for the sake of it. But you would also, I'm sure, expect me to say the right things, however tough, however unfavorable they were. Thank you very much.
What details also call you an underdog in this case?
God works in a mysterious way. His wonders to perform. That's a hymn we used to sing in school. When God is on your side, He can do miracles. And could be God is waiting to show Kenyans that He still exists and He performs miracles. I'm very confident I am the next president of this republic, and a very capable one, a very experienced one. Hata ukiniangalia, you can see I'm material for President of the Republic of Kenya. Because of experience and the years I've been molded, prepared, trained. Nobody has my training among the group that is campaigning. That is my qualification, but I'm committed to serving the Kenyans as you saw me serve them in the last few years. I think that's enough. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. There has been Joseph Nyaga, the presidential candidate, an independent candidate who is elated to have been declared won just a few moments ago, and now he moves on to start off his campaign period, which he has been told has to end by the 5th of August, that is midnight, that hour. So now what we have to do, Fred, because I hope you're still in studio, because it is time for Citizen Extra, I think we'll have to walk back to where the other presidential aspirants are, and also give you an opportunity maybe to hand over to the Swahili team, but we'll be sure to come back to you so that we can have a moment to talk about the other presidential aspirants, Professor Michael Wainaina, Erastus Nyamera, and the other candidates who are still waiting, that is Kwajirongo, who are still waiting at the VIP holding room, but we'll be back shortly so that we can have a moment to change over to the Swahili team. Back to the studio.
Thank you, Samson Gituko there live from the from the KICC, where, yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have a fourth presidential candidate, that is Joseph William Nthega Nyaga, an independent candidate. He becomes the third person to be cleared by the IEBC to run for president. That is after Ikuru Okot, Mohamed Abdu Badida, Raila Amolo Odinga. Now we have the fourth candidate. And that's it for me. I need to leave studio and pave way for my colleague Swale Mdoe to take you through the rest of Citizen Extra in Swahili. But I need to thank my panelists this morning, Dr. Sam Kamau, Joy Mdivo, Dunstan Omari, Kavore Karaoke, and John Kagushia, who have been helping us with the analysis during this time. For me, it's good afternoon.